Well, good evening, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. Your time is valuable, so we want to make sure that we get started on time. We'll probably have some others joining us as we move forward, but we've got Liz Manning admitting and the chat tonight. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Sheri Shannon. I am the director of our partnership programs here at the University of Illinois Community Credit Union. I've got Marissa joining us.
Hello, yes. I am the AVP of Teller Services here at the credit union.
And I'm Liz Welch. I am the Partnership Program Liaison here at the credit union.
So we are going to talk all things money tonight, and your money matters. So that is the title of our webinar. And so we're going to get started talking about savings. So we're going to switch over. I'm going to share my screen with you. Good. All right. I don't want to see that. All right. So thank you for joining the No Judgment Zone Money Matters, where we're going to talk about quite a few things tonight. And our first thing we're going to talk about is savings and the importance of savings. We're going to talk a little bit about youth and money. And then Marissa, our guest speaker tonight, is going to talk all things about fraud awareness. So savings, we all know it's important to save, but a lot of times we don't know why and how we get started. And how many of you, I want to see your answers in the chat, grew up hearing this statement, pay yourself first? I'll give everyone a few minutes, about a minute to put something in the chat. But I just want to know, how many of you grew up hearing that?
I know I did.
Yeah. Same.
I absolutely, yeah. That was definitely something that was talked to with me when I was much younger, and even with my husband now, and I'm 30 years old, and it's definitely still a conversation that we still have. It's important.
But here's the thing. We hear that, and especially maybe from, our grandparents, our parents. But what did it mean,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
What did pay yourself mean? And so this is where we understand that it's to help us understand that paying ourselves is saving, okay? So it's taking our paychecks and every payday putting money aside for savings, just like you would pay your bills. And why we do this is really to help us manage our money better. When we're putting money away for savings, we can handle unexpected expenses better. We may not have to rely on credit, but it also helps us be prepared and identify our goals. And again, saving money for those unidentified emergencies. What are some things that you guys can think of that might come up unexpectedly that's going to cost you, say $300, $400, $500?
Oh, I mean, car
Cars.
stuff.
Yep.
That's the biggest
Yeah.
unexpected emergency that a lot of people go through, and we don't really plan for it. And it's crazy. The amount of time we spend in our vehicles, we don't think about, well, what if this happens? The maintenance behind it. So I say that's a big one.
I would agree. And what happens when we don't have that money?
Credit cards.
Yes.
Credit cards.
Swiping that cards, loans. Yes.
Yes. And so that saving for those unexpected expenses is just as, if not more important than saving for specific goals, so that you can avoid borrowing money. The other beauty of savings is compound interest. It's what I like to say, making money on your money.
That's Sheri's favorite.
That's my favorite saying. And you guys are probably, if you've joined us before, you've heard me say it before, but it's leaving money in a savings account earns interest. And then that total amount of money that you just have in your account then is going to earn more interest. So we're basically paying you to leave your money in your account. And the longer you do that, the more money you're going to make on your money. Ways you do that, savings accounts are, a typical way, but there's also other alternatives that can earn you a little more interest, money market accounts. And these are like a checking account, but are limited to the number of withdrawals you can have. They don't, right now in this market, money markets aren't earning as much interest as some of our CDs. And so CDs are certificates of deposit. And we're starting to see where better interest rates, I think we've been experiencing those since maybe second or third quarter last year.
Yeah,
We've been
absolutely.
seeing that increase in our CD deposit rates. And one of the things that I hear from a lot of people a lot of times, and Marissa, you may hear this from members is, well, if I put money in a CD, can I get it out
Mhm.
before the CD matures?
Mhm.
And can we get it out?
Absolutely, absolutely. There will be it's called a penalty. So you will have a penalty and it's just based off of the dividends. And typically there's a range about 90 days worth of dividends of a penalty on however long that term was. Or then I think it's 180 or 190 days for the longer termed ones.
Okay.
But no, you will get your money back. You would just lose out on some of that dividend you would have built.
Okay, so really thinking about how do you make more money on your money? Certificates of deposit right now are your best alternative. And we're going to show you what U of I Credit Union is paying on those as well here in just a minute. But also your retirement accounts are another great place to save. And that's for your long-term goals. That's for your future. You've worked hard for many years. And if you're not putting money away for your retirement, start now. It's never too late to start so that you have some security when you do retire and you're not getting that regular paycheck. This is.
I was gonna say, making sure that you're taking advantage of the employee match.
Absolutely.
That's a
yes.
big deal. That's money that you're just throwing away if you're
It's
not
free
doing that.
money.
Yeah,
It's free money.
It's free
And
money.
it's scary to think about your, the future, the long term, what is it gonna look like? And of all the savings, I really think the retirement account is the biggest one to start saving for.
Mhm.
Because you don't know what's gonna happen down the road. And that's out of sight, out of mind. I feel like that. You don't wanna touch that. You won't touch that. And you won't really pay close attention to it.
Yep.
Just let it accumulate over time.
Absolutely. And that's a good tip, Marissa. And one of the things when we're younger, and I wish somebody had told me when I was getting started in not my career, but just in working, is that putting money away when you're young, and you can start small, maybe it's 1%, 2%. But if your employer has a 401k and they are matching up to a certain amount of money, what you're contributing, then yes, if you're not contributing at least that amount, they're not going to match you if you're not putting anything in. And so you're throwing that money away. That's free money that you could be getting towards your future. And the earlier you start, the more you're going to have
Yep.
when it comes to retirement. Because believe me, speaking from experience, it is here before you know it.
Oh, bless you.
I mean, I feel sometimes like I just started my career,
Yeah,
20
yeah.
years ago, and it's been a whole lot longer than 20
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
so. All right, so how do I get started? Well, there's a couple of ways. I love an analogy that Liz uses in one of her presentations that we do with one of our partners is home runs and base hits. And so home runs are those quick ways to build up a savings. And how do we do that? Well, if you have a tax return, if you're getting money back from your taxes, that's a great way to start
Yeah.
an emergency savings, especially. You don't have to put all of it in there, but it's a great way to get that savings started. Also, if you get an annual bonus with
Mhm.
your employer, put some of that or all of it, whichever you choose, into that savings to get it going. And then start payroll deducting an amount every payday into that account to help it grow. The other is base hits, and that's just, let's start with payroll deduction. Let's start small. I even tell a lot of the employees that we talk to, even $1 a paycheck. Start it, build that muscle, and as you can, increase that payroll deduction. But once you start payroll deducting and you can start seeing your savings grow, then you're building that habit and you can start increasing as you can work it into your spending plan. So many times we think, oh, I'm gonna start $100 a paycheck. And it sounds great, but it's really hard. And what ends up happening, we go in Friday, that money goes into our savings account. What happens on Monday?
We withdraw it and
Put it back into our checking account.
Right, because we tried it, we need that money for other expenses. And so one of the savings accounts that U of I Credit Union has to help us get started is our Jumpstart Savings. It's earning 2%.
Wow.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a savings account earning 2% interest
That's great.
up to $5,000. So what happens after $5,000? What do you think what we're gonna do with that money? Where are we gonna put money after we've got $5,000? CDs.
Yeah.
If you can save up to $5,000 and you know your Jumpstart Savings is earning 2%, say take $1,000 of that and get a CD that's earning a little bit more interest.
Yeah.
Any comments in the chat? Liz?
we had somebody that said that's insane, 2%.
Yeah. It's great.
It is insane.
It is insane.
insane.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Get on board with
Again, it's
that.
throwing away free money. I mean, if you're going to put it in
Yes.
a savings account anyways, why not put it in one?
And you can still
That's fair.
access it, you guys.
Yes.
You can still
Yes.
access. So those
Yes.
moments where you're like, I need that $100 back because this emergency popped up,
Mhm.
you can still get your access
Yes.
to it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna lose that. interest.
No,
Right.
no,
So-
no,
Not
no.
gonna
So
lose it.
take back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is a great way to start your emergency savings.
Yeah.
Because you can open this account with zero money.
Yep.
And start your payroll deduction. Start that dollar every payday going into that savings account.
Someone put in there about opening it online. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Digital banking.
Online. Yes.
Yes.
Please do. Please
If
do.
you have an account with us and you're using digital banking, you can open this Jumpstart Savings right from your digital banking
Takes like
platform.
less
Yeah.
than 2 minutes.
It doesn't take any time at all.
Yes.
So yes, go out there and get that started. If you don't have an account with us, guess what? You can bank with us. If you're watching, you can bank with us. And if you open your account online, you can open it with no money.
Yep.
We are going to deposit your first $5 in your savings account.
Okay.
Once you get your digital banking opened up, then you can go in and open up that Jumpstart Savings. So here's a look at some of our current CD rates. I love these 9-month and 9-month
Yep.
jumbo rates. Here's where you see that why the importance of maybe starting that Jumpstart Savings and building up to maybe $1,000 or so to get that 9-month minimum deposit is $1,000, but you can earn 4.5% interest. So, but here's one of my favorites, the 33-month add-on certificate. This is a really cool certificate for someone who wants to start putting some money away in a CD and earning a little bit of extra interest. You just need $100 minimum deposit. Now you will have to do every time you add money to it, and you don't have to do it regularly if you don't want to, but you do it in $25 increments. And it's going to earn 3.5%.
Is there a max deposit on CDs?
There,
Well, you do, you
There-
do have your.
yes,
You do
there
have-
is. And so we don't have that up here, and they're different on every one of them.
Yeah.
But go out to uoficreditunion.org and go take a look at our CDs, and it will tell you the different maximums for the different CDs. Sorry, we didn't capture that on this one, but that's a great question.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Again, that's uoficreditunion.org. Any other questions on CDs? Any comments?
So far, no.
Okay, great. Well, we will come back to that. Hey, you guys, please feel free. This is an interactive webinar. So if you have a question and you just want to open up your mic, feel free to do that. But also you can put any questions, comments in the chat. All right. So getting started in our savings journey, what are some things that we can do to help ourselves, Liz?
Some MARC goals, those are my favorite.
Mhm.
And as you can see here, it's specific, measurable.
Attainable, relevant, and time bound. So we are talking, instead of just saying, I want to start saving more money, I want to save $500 in 3 months for an emergency savings.
Yeah.
It is making sure you have a goal that you can reach and something you're going towards instead of just, I want to save money.
It's easier to celebrate those wins when you have an end.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
want a deposit for a house, or you want an emergency savings built up, or you want to go on that vacation that you've always wanted to go on,
Yeah,
It's
vacations.
having something that you are working towards.
instead of just, I want to save money.
And so can I use SMART goals for short and long term?
Absolutely. You'd take a short-term goal of, like I said earlier, $500.
You know, for an emergency fund. Give yourself a 3-month period. I want to save that $500 in the first 3 months. You celebrate that win, but you're looking towards having a year's worth of your wants and needs covered in your savings for an emergency. And you use those little wins along the way to get to that big win, the home runs and the base hits.
I love that.
So,
Love
you know,
that.
you got the 500 in the first 3 months, you got 1,000 in the first 6 months. And slowly but surely you're getting there and you get to celebrate along the way.
I think that's great. I love SMART goals and I love how you can make them for long-term, short-term goals, or how you can tie them all in together. The other thing is payroll deduction into your savings or whatever your goal account is can really help you be that measurable piece
Yep.
towards attaining your goal.
That's a good call out.
Mhm.
Thank you, Liz, for sharing.
Welcome.
Liz loves SMART goals.
I do, they're my favorite.
Yeah. She's kind of an overachiever.
We love to celebrate those smart.
Yeah.
goals. I think it's the celebration at the end of it.
Yes.
Celebrating.
Yes, yeah.
If you can't celebrate a win, then
It's never
There's
ending.
nothing to get
Yes,
towards.
yes.
There's no reward.
Yeah.
in what you're doing.
Yeah.
We love celebrating,
Oh.
you know, and really celebrate, do something special for
I
yourself,
mean,
you
don't go
know.
out and spend a bunch of money, but
But do something, maybe
Reward
to get to that first $500 in your emergency fund, you didn't eat out for a month.
Yeah.
Yep.
To help you, maybe is something like that. So then
go out to dinner
splurge,
for a
go
nice
out to
dinner.
dinner, go out and have a nice dinner, enjoy yourself and celebrate your success. All right, so I love talking about youth and money, teaching our youth about about money. It's so important because it doesn't happen very often anymore. We're seeing generations of consumers who have grown up not understanding the whole game of banking. Why is it important to save money? How do we make money? All the things. And so having these conversations with our kids is really, really important. So whether you're a parent, a grandparent, an auntie, an uncle, you know, having conversations with kids about money. We want to teach them a positive relationship with money. It's not a bad thing, and it's not something to be misused because it can get us into trouble,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I've been there. Money's gotten me into trouble.
Yep.
And, but we also don't want to be afraid of it either. We don't want, there are, some instances where people give all their money away because it stresses them out and they don't want that. So it's helping them develop a really healthy and positive relationship with money, and putting them on a path toward a solid financial future. And again, savings, strong credit scores. Oh my gosh, if we can help our kids
Yes.
early on develop strong credit scores, it's really going to set them up well for life, and it's going to help those lower debt levels. If they understand the importance of saving for the things they want.
Yeah.
And paying for them instead of instant gratification is so important. If we build that muscle in them young.
Yep.
Then we can really help set them up towards a strong financial future. What I want to hear from our listeners tonight is, do you have any suggestions on things that have worked for you? Or maybe a parent or grandparent or another adult in your life taught you when you were young? You guys have anything to share?
I mean, I have on the opposite. I was not really worked well with about savings. When I graduated, I really didn't have much of anything. So when I was able to get my hands on credit, I
Yep.
used and abused it because I was like, this is exciting.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I
Right.
don't have to carry around the paper and then like, oh my gosh, I'm out of the paper. I was able to swipe that card left and right and then it accumulated. And I was like, oh, I have to pay this back.
Yeah.
And it was nice. I was able to get in. So I started working in finances and banking and I was able to take a look at things differently. So I kind of self-taught myself after I learned from the sacrifices I had with my credit, to be honest with you. And I met with our very own Sheri Shannon.
She was a great
I
student.
did. We definitely pulled out my expenses and my things that I've spent on, and we came up with a solid plan.
We did.
And we worked really hard and I was able to get that paid off and it felt so good. And in those moments, I was like, wow, these children need to hear about it.
Yes.
They don't need to learn the way I had to learn. And I was just grateful enough to have had the resources and tools provided to me in that way. So yeah, I learned the hard way, but now I'm good.
Right. And this is why I do what I do. I learned the hard way as well. Liz, you probably have a similar experience of
Yep.
learning about it the hard way. And we don't want that for our kids. We want them to have a good, healthy understanding of the reasoning for saving.
I have a comment.
Says I took a personal finance class in college and it opened my eyes. I had no clue what I was doing before that.
That's
So,
great,
yeah,
but good for you
College,
for
yeah.
Yeah.
taking that class. And I think that's so important. I am an advocate for starting in kindergarten. I think it should be a core curriculum, financial
Yes.
education.
I mean, that's
Honestly.
like what my kid's doing in class right now, you know?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Her teacher has them do jobs every week and they get paid for it. And then they are able to save that money.
For a bigger prize at the end, which is like, I think it's $400. They get to have lunch with their teacher. And for a second grader, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
But they also, the store opens every
Week and they can buy that candy bar or they can spend the money on a toy or a new pencil. And spend their money and not save it. Like, my daughter, who is, wants to have lunch with her teacher, she's like $34 away from
That's
her
awesome.
$400 goal.
So she set a kind of a long-term
Long-term goal,
Yeah.
yeah.
to have lunch with her teacher. I think
Yeah.
that's fabulous. So
And another one says if you, so sorry, guys. If you can't start saving when you're broke, you won't save when you have extra money.
Oh,
That is so
that
true.
is so true. I love that.
Wow.
Can I
Yeah.
keep that? Can we
Yeah.
steal that? Because that is a great comment.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
It's
And-
true.
And that goes back to $1. I don't even care if it's 50 cents a paycheck.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get you started in that habit of saving. Start small. Don't defeat yourself right off the bat trying to do that home run, unless it is with, maybe
Those
you,
two items, lump
those two
sum.
items,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
lump sum, if you've got a lump sum of cash that you don't need right now. And so, yeah, those little base hits, they add up. That's how we win a lot of base.
I do have a question about our Jumpstart account. It says if I have $5,000 in my Jumpstart account, then monthly I get $100 as interest based on 2%. Can you please explain to me?
I'm sorry. So the balance in the account is already
It
5,000?
says if I have $5,000 in my Jumpstart account
then monthly I get $100 as interest,
based on
2%.
Interest is compounded monthly. Yes, but that 2% is only going to be up to $5,000. So anything over 5,000 is going to earn at our regular savings rate. So that's why that's a good time. If you're wanting to earn more money on your money, you're going to take a portion of that 5,000 out
put into our.
and put it into a CD to earn more money. Did I answer the question?
Is that a good answer for you?
Or we can get you some more information I can email.
Yeah, we can definitely follow up with more in-depth information, but really that jump start is really to build that savings muscle and get someone to that point where they have money to put into a CD and lock it up for, I say lock loosely, for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we teach our kids about money? Well, I like your idea of the allowance and chore chart.
Mhm.
I think that's a great way to help kids earn their money. And the chart helps them track what things they have to do and how much they're going to earn for each of those chores. So that's a great way. I like the jar method of wants,
Heard this one.
future goals and giving, where every time they get some change or money for a birthday
Birthday.
present or anything, they can put money into the jars based on maybe they're saving for a new toy. Maybe they want to save for a future goal. Maybe it's a bicycle, maybe it's their first car or it's
Mhm.
college. And then also consider giving. My grandson, he has his giving, but it's more for, he's saving for a friend. A friend of his wants a video game and he wants to help him get it. And so he's in his giving jar, he's got money that he's saving to help his friend
Oh.
get this video game.
Sweet.
And so it's also teaching our kids how to share
Mhm.
what they earn. Games like Monopoly
Mhm.
and Game of Life are really good games to help teach kids. I like Monopoly because you actually got the money. I can't remember. I haven't played Game of Life forever. So
Oh, man.
is there money involved in
Oh,
Game of
yeah,
Life?
and you
Okay.
know, you learn the different
homes,
home
the
and
different values.
jobs and,
Yeah.
you know, different pay increases
Yeah.
and
And whether you have
have kids or no kids or, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that's a good reality type.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Type one. Take them shopping with you. Help them make the grocery list. Have them help you make the grocery list. And you can have that conversation about why some things don't go on the grocery list because it's not in your spending plan. Maybe for that week, maybe another week it might be, but really taking them shopping with you so they can see how much things cost.
Yep.
And why, when you have to say, no, we can't afford that this time, they understand the why. And the more you involve them, the more they're gonna have that understanding and they're not gonna fight you so much when you say no. If you can tell them the why behind the no, then it really helps them understand. And then bring them into the credit union, open up a savings account, get them started early in building that savings habit. They have their jars at home, bring their jars into the credit
We have
union.
Coin machines.
We have
Yeah.
coin machines,
Dump the coin
yes.
in,
Yes, oh,
start
and
that
kids
way.
love doing that, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that's a
love
lot of
seeing
fun.
That happen in our
Yes.
lobbies.
I like doing that.
Yeah.
I love seeing how much all my coins
It
added up
accumulates
to.
too, and you're like, oh, wow, okay.
It
This is
Just
just
change.
random change in my house.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's gonna be safe in your savings
Yep.
account. And here's some tips on what you're gonna need when you come to the credit union and most financial institutions to open up a minor account. Your ID, driver's license, state ID, military, you guys can read all this, but these are things that you want to make sure that you have in hand when you're ready to open up their account. Now, you can open up their account online, right?
Minors, we do need for in branch.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
so,
but there's another level of information that we need, such as the birth
Okay.
certificate too. So
okay.
we
all right.
ask that we get them to come inside and work with us.
Plus,
But they don't need to come with you, may I add.
they don't need to, but it would be a good
It's fun,
experience,
yeah,
right? It's a
yeah.
good experience because get the account open, they go through that process. They've got some ownership in
Yeah,
that.
yep.
And then they get to walk up to the teller line and make their deposit
Yes.
into their account.
Yes.
You know, that used to be a big deal for me. And I know when I first got started in credit unions back in the day, because again, I said 20 years went by fast. No. And we had a step stool and the kids could step up on the step stool and reach the teller line and give us their, wad of coin or whatever. And it was exciting for them. So bring your kids in, take them for that journey. I think it's really, really important. All right, so
Oh,
here
no.
we're getting to the real meat and potatoes
The scary
of
stuff.
of our webinar tonight, which is fraud awareness. And Marissa is our subject matter expert in fraud. And so that's exactly why we brought her on tonight to talk to you guys about a really, really important topic that we want to make sure you're as aware of everything that we can bring awareness to you to avoid becoming a victim.
Yeah. We probably should have started with this because I love what we just talked about. I felt motivated, encouraged. I want to go save. I want to look at our products and
Yeah.
things like that. And now I have to talk about this F word. That's not fun, okay? It's fraud, but we do
It's
have to
fraud,
talk about it.
but we
'cause
do,
it's happening.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's happening and it's going to continue to happen. It's never going away. They're getting smarter.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say that fraudsters are smart But they are.
They are,
They are.
they're very
So
smart.
we need to talk about that.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
let's talk about the recent fraud scams that we have seen here at the credit union, but I understand that there are similar ones that are happening outside of here, so they may apply for others who do not bank with us. The very first one I have on here is spoofing. So if you're unfamiliar with spoofing, that is either someone or something impersonating, okay? That can be done with email. Scary.
Yeah.
Phone, caller ID. People can spoof a phone number. We have recently been spoofed, you guys.
Really?
Our phone number has been spoofed. So we've had people receive phone calls from our line spoofing, impersonating us, the credit union. Yeah, I hate that for us.
Yeah, that's really scary.
Yes.
That's really scary.
Text message spoofing is another big one too. So they're acting as if they're a business, a representative of some kind.
Mhm.
And during these spoofings, what they're trying to do is do an account takeover. Okay, so they're trying to get information from you. And the biggest one that we've been seeing is your digital banking info.
Oh.
Say they really want to get your login credentials as well as your password. No, that's so
Yeah,
icky.
no,
So
yeah.
icky.
no.
And what they're doing is then they're setting up accounts. They're putting accounts, attaching an account that they have somewhere else. And then they're moving your real money, taking your real money and putting it somewhere else.
So they can actually do this.
They have done this, yes. And it's by us clicking onto those links, giving them the digital
Yep.
banking information, allowing for them to do the account takeovers.
So they're sending a text like they're us.
Correct.
And they're clicking on this link.
Clicking on this link to go through a login access of the U of I Community Credit Union, but it's encrypted. There's something behind the scenes that
And
is.
they're capturing all of your
Exactly.
login information. Oh my gosh, listeners, this is huge. We all get these text
Yes.
messages. We get them, I get them from Amazon all the time.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
Amazon,
horrible.
yes.
Here's what I know is, okay, it could be legit from
Mhm.
Amazon, but I'm going out to my Amazon site
Mhm.
myself, and I'm not clicking any links because I don't really know if that is Amazon or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't click those links in
Yeah.
those texts. Don't click the links in the emails.
Yep.
And don't give out your password or your login to
Please-
anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, never give out.
No one's
your-
gonna ask for that. That's
Yes,
a
we
legitimate
will.
person.
We specifically will not ask for your username or password for anything,
Mhm.
okay? And also they ask for social security number and they're asking for like the full social security number.
Yeah, nobody
Um,
asked for that.
don't-
We're
yeah.
never gonna ask
Don't
you for
ask for your
that.
full,
No.
full social,
If
so
we are contacting you, we should already have that.
Correct.
information.
Yes.
So
Correct.
we would not be asking you to give us that.
that's, yes,
information.
exactly. So that's a little bit about the spoofing. Be on the lookout for that stuff. Next you have your loan and job scams. So that is typically through some type of advertisement on social media platforms. I've
Mhm.
seen a lot lately. Or also different ads that pop up on applications you're on your phone.
Mhm.
And they have these flashy dashy, quick and easy money,
Mhm.
not so much work you have to do, rewarding
Mhm.
services. No, it's no good. So they're just trying to scam you with these loans and
Mhm.
different job applications, very vague descriptions.
Yep.
So take a look at that. But it's out there. It's out there. So.
I
be on
see
the
a lot
lookout.
too, where they don't give you what the company name is, but it's,
Correct,
we'll pay you $500 a day for you to do work from home.
correct, yeah.
But there's no name of a company that you can contact. They're just asking you like on Facebook. I see it a
Yeah.
lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like the marketplace site.
It's really hitting those Instagram and Facebook platforms because we have a lot of people who, the younger generation, bless them.
Mhm.
But they want something quick and fast and to not put much effort into a job, and a lot of content providers right now, they want to be social media stars. So they see these ads, they click them, and unfortunately it turns into being a scam.
Yeah, because when they click on that, they're giving them all the employment information, right? Their social, their name, their
Sometimes
address.
they even scan in their IDs.
Oh,
So
that you
now they have
identity
everything.
theft. Yes.
They have everything. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. The next one, this one has been a constant thing through my entire life. Those unsolicited checks.
Yep.
You get this random check in the mail and you're like, I don't know what this is. No, You don't know what it is. That's probably a red flag. Don't do anything with
Yep.
that. They like to throw things in there like secret shop or something, go walk around this store. Pretend that you're checking out the employee services, but you're gonna be shopping with this money and then the rest of the money you're gonna do something else with, which I'll hit on later.
Okay.
Because they do
Mhm.
ask you to do something with additional funds. But if you get a check in the mail that you weren't anticipating, that's a scam 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, this one's icky. I hate talking about it, but it's raw, it's real, and it breaks my heart when people fall victim of this.
Yeah.
But romance scams. So these individuals will profess their love very quickly. Very quickly. Sometimes you find them just on the internet, social medias as well.
Games.
Games,
Games,
yeah,
yep.
Yes.
games.
Mhm.
Immediately they're professing their love for you, but then they will claim they're from the US, but they're overseas, either for military or business, and there's an emergency. They can't come and visit you because they need money. And in order for them to come and visit you,
Mhm.
you need to provide them this money for said emergency. And sometimes their emergencies are, they just need money to be able to travel because they're overseas and it costs a lot of money to get out of there.
And they want to come see you.
And they
right?
want to come
wanna
see you,
come
so
see
they are
you,
pulling
so
on
they
those
need the money,
heartstrings.
so they can come see you.
Yes, and it happens more often than you want it to happen. But romance scams are raw. If you have not met or talked to this person, please, please, please use caution.
And don't,
And that's face to face. We're
Yeah.
not talking about internet talk.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
You need to be face to face before you are.
Even see if you can get on a Zoom call for crying
Yeah.
out loud. I mean, if you can get on a Zoom call and
Mhm.
figure out something, that would give me a little bit
a
more
little bit
level
more.
of comfort, but
Right.
nonetheless, that's still, it's still fishy to me.
Yeah.
And they're not always asking for money. Sometimes they're asking for laptop computers,
Yes.
cell phones.
Gift cards.
Gift cards,
Yes.
sometimes they're asking for tangible items.
Yes,
And they're asking you, you go buy all this stuff and I'm gonna send you the money for it.
correct. Once I come
Yes,
back.
once I come back,
I'll
I
come
will
back to
pay
the
you
state
back.
and I can access my
Yes.
accounts.
And so
Yes.
you've purchased these items
Yeah.
and you've shipped them to this
Yes,
wherever. And you never hear from them.
your
again.
money is real.
Yes.
Theirs is not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you will be at a loss with that. It's icky.
Absolutely.
It's icky. The other one is check washing. So that is your actual checks, your checks that you are writing out, whether it's to pay your water, it's paying your utility bills of any kind, even to send a birthday card,
Ugh.
Sometimes you put a card, we've all seen the bottoms of those envelopes
Mhm.
ripped
Ripped
open.
open.
Someone's accessing that check. And when they get a hold, so these fraudsters, when they take these checks, they manipulate the information on them. So they wash off, in a way, they're washing off the pay to the order of, probably putting it with their own name, and they are changing that dollar amount. So that $50 check you wrote for your nephew turned into maybe a $500 to $5,000 check for so-and-so.
So is it true that they can also take the information from the bottom of your check?
They can manipulate that, the MICR line on the
Mhm.
bottom. Mhm.
And can they have set up automatic withdrawals from that
They can do
account?
that. Yes, absolutely. And then they can create more of those checks
Mhm. Yeah.
and they can take those numbers and put them on different checks. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have thought us just writing checks that we access at our financial institution and we feel protected with, that we could fall victim of a scam like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that is scary.
And then the last fraud scam that we've seen lately is those phishing, so malware and ransom. So, sometimes this can be imposed as a link you receive saying your password's expired. You need to click to
Right.
update your password. Once you click that, they've completely taken over.
They're
So
in your computer
Yes.
or your phone.
Yes, yes. So they are they're getting unauthorized access to your data, your member sensitive
Oh.
information. And it's icky. Don't click it, please. Don't click anything.
Nothing.
Don't click anything whatsoever.
Let
Somebody-
me know 100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
somebody claiming that they are a tech for Google and they need to do so-and-so with your computer. Hang up the phone, just
Yeah.
hang it up,
Mhm.
just hang it up.
Just hang
okay?
up.
We're
Yeah.
seeing a lot of tech support malware situations with that as
So
well.
they're accessing their devices.
Yes, yes. And what do
And
we
then
have?
tampering with their
What do we
device.
have on
That's
our
our
devices, even our
everything.
phones?
Yeah.
You know,
Every password, every account
Mhm.
number.
I have cards on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy, guys. But those are the most recent and continue to build scams that we are seeing. I don't know if anybody's fallen victim or has heard about other scams that you guys want to kind of throw out in the chat or talk about here in this group, but it's real. It's absolutely real.
Yeah, feel free. We're going to move on, but feel free if there's something you want to share with regards to something you've experienced, or you have a question about something maybe you've experienced. Maybe you're not comfortable about talking about it in this venue. Feel free to reach out to us. Mine and Liz's contact information is on our website. You can ask.
It'll be in the last slide here too.
That's true. It'll be in the last slide. You can
You
get a
can
hold of
get
us.
that information.
So I'm
Hi,
not here to
this
just.
is Fermaline Cadena. Hi, I recently had a text message asking, did you spend $500 at such and such place in Las Vegas? And so I thought it was the credit union, because they were checking to make sure it was me using my debit card.
Yep.
And if I was out of town, and so I said no in the text, but then I got a phone call, and see, I should have hung up right away because I don't think the U of I would have called me. And after I had answered no in the text. And so they asked for my password, and I said, I'm going in. I said, no, I'm not going to give you my password. I'm going to go into the credit union. And I did. And
Absolutely.
I was told that no, that text didn't come from the credit union.
Yes,
And
That was smart. Good
Yes.
job.
I
you
went,
even attend this, webinar to hear about what you should do and the actions that you took. Great job. It's scary that
Yeah.
they're acting like
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it is very scary. And thank you for sharing that with us,
Yes.
because we don't know a lot of times that these things are happening, and our members, but all financial institutions are being affected by fraud, and their customers, their members. It's hard to know what's real. And so if you even have a inkling of doubt and something that I'm not gonna spoil Marissa's thing about this, but if you feel like this isn't right, call your financial institution right away, because number one, if you do a transaction, or a transaction shows up on a debit or credit card that our fraud department, it maybe monitors, and they see maybe it's outside of your normal spending habits, we're gonna call you. And you're going to talk to somebody that you know is legit, okay? But even then, if you're not sure, hang up and call your local branch.
Yes.
Give us a call, and then we can take a look from our end and say, oh yeah, our fraud team did call you, and they just wanted to double check these transactions.
Because at that attempt, nothing has happened to your accounts yet.
Right, exactly.
It's after.
Yeah,
It's the after. They're
Yeah.
kind of, and I'll talk about it here soon, but
Yeah.
they're using a scare tactic.
Yeah.
Putting that fear, oh no, my account's been compromised. I must give them this information.
information to protect my account.
But what's really
They're
happening
happening.
is you're putting your defenses down
Yep.
and they're getting it. I
Yeah,
hate
and they're
that.
getting your money.
Yes, and it's your money.
It's your money.
Your money's not
Your
real.
money matters.
Yes. So I don't want to just talk about like the scary stuff. Something that I like to refer to myself as, I'm Spider-Man. I am your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And I'm going to tell you when your spidey senses should tingle. So we're going to talk about when our spidey senses should be going off
Yes.
during these potential fraud scams that happen. So the first one that we have seen is urgency and request. Their tone of voice is demanding. They're like, you must do this. Don't hang up the phone. I need this information
We need it now.
now.
Mhm.
Spidey senses, no ma'am, hanging up. Misspellings or grammar issues in any of the communications, whether it's that check that you received in the mail and you're like, I don't know what this was, take a look at it. There could be different font sizes, there could be spelling issues. Sometimes it comes with a certified attachment, you would say, and it's different types of fonts and colors and pixelated, it's icky.
I got, when COVID happened, Social Security, I got a
a debit card that they wanted me to use.
Oh.
That I was gonna be paid for non-working from the unemployment office. And it had my name spelled wrong.
Oh,
And there was a space between
Yeah.
between it, you know, my name.
yeah,
And I was like, that, no.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had to call in and they were telling me that was a big fraud back when COVID was happening.
Yep.
Because they were sending these debit cards to people to use this money, and then you were having to pay them back because it wasn't real.
well, you're kind of like jumping to my next.
So sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's like, wow, I love this. So another one is they ask to pay. So you receive a prize.
Yep.
And they're like, but you have to pay for that prize. Okay, so you kind of owe us money,
Mhm.
but we'll give you something in return. Or they're asking for additional funds. So back to those checks, they're like, hey, here's $3,300. And they come with these fancy attachments saying you're gonna be a secret shopper here at Walmart. But guess what? You need to send us back that 3,000, the 300's for you.
Mhm.
Their money's not real, yours is,
Mhm.
okay?
And you're gonna lose that $3,000.
You're gonna lose that
Yep.
3,000.
You sure are.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
They use those scare tactics
Mhm.
too.
They do.
And
They
I
do.
think we've all heard from our
Mhm.
members, some of these scare tactics,
Mhm.
or we've fallen victim of them.
Yep.
They're threatening the police are gonna be at your home if you hang up this phone and not
Yep.
provide them information.
Yeah, scare tactics about your kids too. You know,
Yes.
your kids are in trouble.
Your
Your-
loved ones,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
they're throwing anyone out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then those people, imposing as tech support, they're saying that you've been hacked.
Yeah,
You need
I
to give
need to
me
get in there and
Yes,
help
I
you.
need to fix this.
Yeah.
Well, not gonna fix it if you give them more information.
Right,
They are
that's right.
hacking you in that moment.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Then you have those unsecured links. Take a look at the link. Sometimes they throw a link in the text message that they sent you, the email. Make sure it's protected. Look at that HTTP. Yes, S.
Yeah, you want the S behind that.
Yes.
HTTP.
Yes.
But the other thing is, if you're still not sure, go out and Google it.
Oh my,
Yep.
yes.
Google's your
Do
friend.
yes, Google's a friend. Do your own research before you click any links, just to double check.
Yeah.
If it's legit.
Absolutely. That's my bottom one. No search results. You can't
Yeah.
figure it out.
Right.
Nothing's there. There's no Google reviews on the business you
Yep.
thought that you were giving a loan with.
Mhm.
There's nothing in the Better Business Bureau about the person,
Yep.
the place that you thought you were gonna work for, or there's absolutely no contact information or address for any of those.
Yep.
Yep. The other piece is that asking sensitive verification info. Don't give them that stuff. Don't give them your full social security number. Don't give them your digital banking
Mhm.
login and password.
Yep.
Don't do it, you guys. Hang up.
Yeah,
Okay.
just that we're, because you're a financial institution, anybody legitimate is not going to ask you for that information.
We'll ask out-of-pocket questions. There will be questions we
Mhm.
ask, but not to that level.
Right, not to that level.
Absolutely not, because we understand that's sensitive information that you should not be sharing.
I have a question, Marissa. Can our members set up a password that they would give if they call in to us or if we call them
Absolutely.
and we have to get that password? Okay,
Yes, that's
Okay.
another form that we can, secure our members' accounts is that we can build additional passwords. That if we were contacted by them or they contact us, that needs to be verified.
Mhm.
Yes, great question.
I have something from here. Says, I think someone pretending to be one of our friends and loved ones is the most scary when it comes to scams, whether on social media or via their email or even a text message. How can you prevent a next attack? Do you change your phone number, or email?
Block it. And I'll talk about it. I'll talk
Okay.
about that here soon. That's a really great question.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be scared of, to be honest. In those moments, absolutely, it's terrifying because they are pulling on your heartstrings.
Yep.
They're using actual people that are close to you. They don't know those people. They don't know them. They don't know you, but they're trying to scare you to think that,
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I know, I absolutely agree that's scary, but I'll kind of talk a little bit about that one.
Okay, perfect.
And then the last one I had on here was the mailing envelope. Take a look at what, the
Yeah.
information, the check they send you, what kind of envelope they're coming in. I think we've all agreed, we received payroll in the past. Standard envelope has some really nice information, the perforated line for you to rip
Yeah,
off your check,
yeah.
They're coming in those giant
The
manila.
manila.
They
The
think they look
UPS.
official. You walk in the branch with that, we immediately know we have to have a conversation about how you came about that check.
Yeah.
Because my spidey senses are tingling when I see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They think it's better.
It
They
looks
think it's
better,
more
yeah.
like certified. I don't know what
Like
goes through
if
their mind.
DHL is bringing a check to
Yeah,
me,
I
it's more secure or
They
something
paid
like
for
that.
that shipping, which is crazy to
Yeah.
me. So,
But-
I mean, they're committed.
They are committed.
But they're not gonna get anything past us because we went over that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Our
Because
spidey
we
senses
had
are gonna
spidey
tingle.
senses.
Yes, I
That's
love it.
right. We're tingling.
Yes. Okay, so I talked about all these spidey senses and all these scams and things to be on the lookout for. But what do you do when it happens?
Yep.
You're gonna shut it down, okay? We have to shut it down. So don't respond. Those text messages you get, the phone calls that you have, block that number.
Yep.
Block it right away, block it. If in your situation, it makes you feel more comfortable to contact, if they used your nephew, they used your sister, they used your mother, contact them.
Yep.
Just give them a call.
Give them a call and then block those.
Block those numbers.
Yeah,
Don't
block them.
respond, don't do anything with it, okay?
Yeah.
Don't give out your personal or financial information. Just don't do it, okay? Please, please, please don't give that out. Resist the pressure to act immediately. They're, like I said, they're gonna have flashy dashy words.
Yep.
Quick, easy, fast, $5,000.
Time is running out.
Time is
Yeah.
running out.
Or they need it
Yeah.
now.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah,
Nothing in
absolutely.
this world is free
And, or easy.
or
Because
easy.
money is not easy to
No.
get money.
Yeah.
No.
It's not easy to get money. And if somebody's offering you money and it's too easy, it's not legit.
Shut it down. Shut it down. Whole motion. Yes, shut it down.
We're shutting it down.
Yeah, setting it.
Never deposit a check from someone you don't know, and then they're asking for money in return. So
Yeah.
like I said,
Yes.
I sent you too much. Here's the money for you, but I need the rest back.
This happened to my husband a few years ago. He was selling something on, I don't know, one of the sites, eBay or something
Yeah.
like that. And a guy, reached out. He said he was a CPA and he wanted this item. He'd been looking for it for a while or whatever. And he said, I'm going to send you the money and then we'll make arrangements. So he sends the money and then he calls and says, my secretary sent the wrong check. So I need you to just take out what you need and then send the rest back to me, cash that
Mhm.
check
Mhm.
and send me another check and I'm like, no,
Oh,
not happening.
You're shutting
No,
it down.
yeah,
Shutting it down.
shutting
You're
it down.
shutting it down.
We do want to know, can't you tell if a check has been washed?
I, as an individual who see it often, have been able to identify that a little bit easier. They have gotten very good at it. I will be very honest with you. If I did not work in banking, I would not be able to tell.
Okay.
I wouldn't. What you can do is rub your hands, your fingers across the amounts and the pay to the order of. Sometimes what they do is you can feel the missing of the paper if you make, 'cause
Okay,
the
yeah.
way that the,
That's that
That they-
silky soft.
yes,
feeling
yes.
the
It feels a
check.
little bit like tissue paper at the
Uh-huh,
end of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Also another thing I have seen is, with social security checks, if you hold it to the light, you can see what's like this yellow white out thing they used, and then the additional information they added to it. So if you hold those checks to a light, I think that you can find those.
Mhm.
But like I said, they're hard to spot if you've not seen it.
If you're not doing it on a
Yes.
normal basis.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. But if you ever have questions, concerns of something that you were received or just want to talk through about potential fraud items, come and see me. I'm at all the branches, so I'm particularly out at 5 Points. You have questions or concerns, come visit me. We could take a look at some checks too that you might have to see if there are, spidey senses are
Yeah.
tingling, things that we need to look out for what you have.
And our tellers are pretty savvy.
Yes.
On catching these types of
Yes,
things
yes.
as well. So we really work hard. I should say Marissa and her team work really hard to ensure that all of our teller line, our member service reps know what to look
Yeah.
for and can spot these types of things.
And don't hold us to it. We do our darndest,
but
but these
they-
fraudsters get
they're
really
getting
good.
really
They
good.
get creative
Right.
and sometimes
But
we,
that's how good it is. that
Yes.
Even as trained as we are on what to look for, it can still get past us,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So just be careful.
yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Where should we store our passwords besides our mobile phones?
That's a really great question.
password protects on your
So
phone, right?
some people have like a malware, built that helps them with the protection of their phones. I think that's hard because if your phone does get compromised, there's a way that they can take that
They can
over
get that
and
into
get that
that.
information. I know some people, they use a notebook, but then what if you lose
the
that notebook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So really, I don't think there's the best answer for that.
yeah.
Nonetheless, it can get in the wrong person's hands, but if you do all of the, the spidey senses tingling, you go off of those, you will have a lower chance of falling victim
Mhm.
of those phishing attempts where they're able to
Mhm.
access that info.
And I think it's real important that setting up a password to access your phone is really important. Don't make it easy.
Yeah.
Make it difficult. There are some password saver apps out there, and maybe do some research on the legitimacy of
Yeah,
them. Just
yeah.
because they're on Apple or Android
Yes,
as offerings doesn't mean they're legit,
go and
right?
look at the reviews,
Yeah,
look at the
look at-
ratings.
Check ratings and things like that on them.
And changing your password often, right?
Yes,
Like,
change it often. Yeah.
Yes.
I have
Wonderful.
one in here that said that they'd rather change their password every day than write it down.
Yes.
And that's-
And I'm
Well,
almost
yeah.
certain I'm gonna hit on that. It's like you guys are
Yeah.
being sweet to me.
We have
I
a very
love
smart
it. I
audience.
love
Yeah,
this
they're great.
audience.
Yes.
I love
they're
it.
great.
So, yeah, the other one, never send money back to someone you don't know. So they're gonna ask gift cards, they're gonna ask Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, Bitcoin. Don't send them the money. Don't do it. And just use caution when mailing those checks. So if there's another way that you can pay that utility bill, please do so.
Mhm.
If you find that you do need to mail it, try to put it in between several pieces of paper in a bigger envelope and take it to your postal service. My understanding with a lot of the check washing is they're just those little side
Mhm.
post op,
Yeah.
whatever those bins are, they're getting access to those. I just bring it to your post office,
Hand it to them.
hand
Yeah.
it to them.
Well,
Hand it.
another thing is if your financial institution offers bill pay. You can,
Yep.
you can set up bill pay. I know we have it
Yep.
for our members, but you can set up bill pay so that if you have a bill, like my garbage bill, every other month, I have a check I have to write. But you can set that up in your bill pay and we will send the check
Oh,
to
that's great.
that person. Instead of you having to write a check, it's set up in your account and you can send that
Yeah.
check.
And there's
Yeah,
other forms
we'll
of it
send
too,
Yeah,
where you don't even have to do a check at all. You don't
right.
even have to do a check. at
Well,
all,
and
too.
but some places won't take any other.
Yeah.
They'll only take the check, like
Yeah.
my
My
garbage bag.
garbage as well.
Yeah, so it's usually some of the small businesses don't always take other electronic forms, but
There's
so,
options.
yeah, there are lots of options. And if you have questions, reach out to us because we can help you with that.
I have another question for you.
Ooh,
All right.
I'm on the hot seat.
Yes, you are.
Are, yes.
All right, what's your take on money transferring apps like Venmo and PayPal? She says, I've seen free money show up on accident, so I am aware of fraud attempts since our banking information is connected and supposedly protected.
That's, I try not to touch those types of apps.
Mhm.
At the credit union, I'm able to pay other people.
Mhm.
So I'm able to move money securely through my U of I credit union account
Yep.
with somebody else. So I prefer to do it that way
Mhm.
because I just want to keep it with my financial institution. I feel protected. I feel safe in
Mhm.
that. So I personally do not steer towards those other apps. Those are tough. I don't have the best answer. I just try not to touch it. I don't know if you ladies can relate to that question.
I mean, I do use them, but I haven't had any issues.
Yeah, I use them as well, but I haven't. And I think if you see money show up in your account and you know it doesn't belong to you, then maybe it's shut it down.
And I
Yeah.
will say, the nice thing about like Venmo, it's not going directly into your account. I mean, it's going into a Venmo account and you have to transfer it to your bank account, but your bank account is connected to
Still
it.
Yeah.
connected,
So
Right.
there's still a way for them to get in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. That's a really good question. And
That is a great question.
I wish I could better relate to that. I just try to do transfers of any kind with.
So if
within.
you bank with us,
Here,
you can do transfers from your accounts to other people
People.
outside of our organization. You
Yeah.
can do that.
it is on our digital banking app.
Yep, if you go to our digital banking app, you can do it there, but you can also reach out to a member service rep and they can help you walk. through
Yeah,
that.
come talk with us. We'll try to identify the best solution for however you're making those transfers. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, So I feel as if I was able to provide all the spidey senses, so the tools, the resources to protect yourself. There's another level that I need you guys to do. So as members, as individuals, you guys need to make sure you're doing your best. So set up those account alerts,
Yeah.
okay? Account alerts are super important. A lot of FIs, if not every single FI has some type of alert you could put in there, okay?
Mhm.
Make difficult passwords. I know in the moment you're like, I don't know what this is gonna be.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
this is gonna be so long. I have to do uppercase, special numbers.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
do that, make
yeah.
it as difficult as possible and change it often. So I think you
Yep,
had mentioned
yep.
that earlier. It's like, you knew, I love that. Change it often.
Change it. Yep.
Yes.
Change it often.
Review your